Welcome to my channel. You ever get a hankering for something? If you live in the South, you know what a hankering is. Well, I've got a hankering today for a grilled cheese. But not just any old grilled cheese. So come on, go with me, and let's go see what's cooking today. Now I've got these great tomatoes hanging out in my fridge, and I need to get them used before they start going bad. Some of them starting to get a couple of little wrinkles on them, so we want to get these gone instead of having to throw them out. I don't like food waste, so I try to find ways to use up what I have. So let's go. Now I'm going to take my grape tomatoes and I'm just going to cut them in half. Just like that. Now I'm going to get the rest of these done. I don't know if I'll do them all. I may do them all because there's another recipe that I'm wanting to do also that calls for grape tomatoes. So I may just go ahead and get all of these cut up and done at one time. But let's go get the rest of these cut up. I'm just going to put these tomatoes in this bowl. I'm just going to set these tomatoes to the side, let them hang out for just a minute. Now I've got a jalapeno. It's on its way out, so we need to get this used up so it doesn't get thrown out too. And I'm just going to cut the ends off of it. Get it sliced open, just down the center, and I'm going to deseed it. Now I'm just going to take my knife, just run it down that vein. Pop those seeds right out, just like that. Now if you want to leave the seeds and veins in, ribs, whatever they're called, we call them veins, then leave them in. But I don't want it too hot, so that's why I deseeded mine. For now, I'm just going to leave this cut in half, and I'm going to throw it in this bowl with my tomatoes. Now I took my jalapenos back out for just a minute because I'm making this for two different dishes. I am going to need to put a little salt on these tomatoes, but I don't want a lot of salt on my jalapenos, so I am going to put them back in, just not yet. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on my tomatoes. I'm going to get that mixed around, get them all coated, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on them. I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees, and I've got me a cookie sheet. Just take whatever pan you want to use. I'm going to put these tomatoes on this pan, and I'm going to put them cut side up. We're going to roast these for about 15 to 20 minutes in a 400 degree oven. Now I will be adding my jalapenos on in just a minute. Let's get these done. Got my jalapeno back in my bowl, and I'm just going to drizzle a little olive oil on that. I'm going to get it rubbed in. Now I'm going to take my jalapeno and I'm going to lay those cut side down, skin side up, just on this pan. We're going to pop this in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Now while my jalapeno and grape tomatoes are roasting in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and get my bread. Now I'm using this brioche bread. Sourdough bread is probably the best way to go for this grilled cheese sandwich, but I don't have sourdough. I have regular sandwich bread, but I think sandwich bread is going to be a little thin for what I need, not dense enough. This is a little denser to me, I think, than sandwich bread. I had taken 2 slices out earlier to let it thaw because I do keep this in my freezer. So get you 2 pieces of bread. The recipe I'm following tells me to use 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. I have this whipped cream cheese, so that is what I'm going to be using. I did get my scale out so I could sort of go by 4 ounces. If I think 4 ounces is too much for what I'm doing though, I'm not going to use 4 ounces. So we're going to start with just this much. That's 3.7 ounces, close enough. That's what I'm going to go with. Now this recipe also calls for 1 cup of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. I do not care for sharp cheddar cheese, so I never buy it. I do, however, have some mild white cheddar, so I'm going to be using this instead. Now this is a thick cut. And that's okay. If you want to use sliced cheese, use sliced cheese. To get the most out of this recipe though, you're going to kind of want to follow it. As far as the cheese goes, if you love sharp cheddar, hey, use sharp cheddar. I'm going to leave the recipe in the description box how it is written, but you can make your own variations when you cook. I mean, that's what I do all the time. And usually when you use your own variations and you just kind of go with your gut on the taste that you like, you can come up with some amazing dishes. Just try it sometime. Now I'm going to add this in just a little bit at a time. Because there again, if I think it's too much, I won't use it all. Let's get that stirred up. I am going to use the entire cup. Just stay with me. Stay with me. We're not through mixing this up yet. Just hold tight. Next, we're going to add some bacon. I'm not going to cook regular bacon because I don't want to open a whole pack just for this. But I have these bacon bits that I always have on hand. These are in my fridge. I'm going to sprinkle some of these in here and get that mixed up. Now, this is where you're just going to have to use your judgment on how much you want in yours, because I don't think these are actually in this recipe. I'll put it as an option at the end of the recipe. I think that should be enough. Let's get that mixed up. Now I told you, we are elevating this grilled cheese sandwich and we are taking it to new heights. This is going to be delicious. It is a jalapeno popper grilled cheese. Here's my roasted jalapenos and tomatoes. I think I'm going to put my tomatoes back in for just a couple more minutes. I am, however, going to leave the jalapenos out. I'll put them over to the side and let them be cooling because I need to slice them up. Okay, I have my jalapenos right here. They're still hot. I'm just going to slice them. I'm going to cut up into smaller pieces. That'll do it. I'm going to add the jalapeno into my cream cheese and cheese mixture. And let's get that mixed up. Now, I misread my recipe. And this is actually for 2 sandwiches. I thought it looked like a lot for 1 sandwich. And I was going to divide it. So this is actually for 2 sandwiches, which can be a good thing. You can take this and you can make a sandwich the next day, or you can take this And if you have some more jalapenos, you can prepare them, wash them, slice them in two, de-seed them, and then fill them with this mixture and pop them in the oven. Top them with some more cheese before you pop them in. And you have you some really delicious jalapeno poppers. Double jalapeno poppers. So here it is. There is the filling for our sandwich. But before we get it assembled, get you a skillet or a griddle of some sort. I have a cast iron griddle on my stove top. I've got it turned on a medium heat, and I'm going to add some butter to it. You just want that butter to start melting down. Now in the beginning, I know I said that I was using some of those tomatoes in this too. Well, I'm not. I decided against that because I don't want it to water down this mixture in any kind of way. So we're just going to be using our roasted jalapeno popper mixture on our bread. Now I've taken my bread and I've put butter on one side of each piece. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. And I know some people like to use mayonnaise. You do it however you would do your grilled cheese. That is how you prepare your bread. But I am going to take half of this. I'm going to turn it over, butter side down. And I'm going to add half of my mixture onto this bread. Now, if you're using regular sandwich bread, it's probably going to tear your bread when you put it on there. That's just a FYI. Because of how thick the mixture is, that is probably going to be what happens. It's not tearing mine, not at this point, but that don't mean it won't. Mixture. And that's about half of my mixture. I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it on my griddle. And I'm going to top it with my other piece of bread. Just like you would a grilled cheese. We're going to let that cook up. Now you're just going to let this sandwich cook for a few minutes on each side. You want your bread to be golden brown when you flip it over. Here are my grape tomatoes all beautifully roasted up. We're not using these today. We're going to use these in another recipe. I think my sandwich is ready to be flipped. So here we go. Oh, look how pretty. That's how you want it. All nice and golden brown and toasted. That's going to be a good sandwich. Okay, I think my sandwich is ready. I'm going to get this pulled off of the stove. I'm going to flip it over onto this plate so that you can see the other side. It is just as nice and pretty as the other side. So I'm going to set this over to the side to let it cool for, I don't know, just a couple of minutes to kind of let it cool down a little bit and set up inside. Okay? I'm going to cut this sandwich in half to make it a little more manageable. I will go ahead and show you the inside of the sandwich. Doesn't that look delicious? Okay, y'all. Here's the sandwich. It's cooled for a few minutes. It looks delicious. It smells delicious. We're going to see if it tastes delicious. That's the inside. Okay, here goes. Oh man. Wow. This right here, yes. Yes, please. Go. You need to go make you a roasted jalapeno popper grilled cheese. Because this right here, man, that's good. Oh yeah. So while you go make you one of these, I'm going to go eat. Cheers.